Hell yeah. We are underway. And already Justin Michael lunging to the inside here, looking for the race lead. Crowder back to the inside as the field battles away behind them. Scott Patton trying to hold off. Oh, in trouble there. I think Rob Haynes got out of shape. So did Michael Milfelt. Quite a few drivers all out of sorts here. And look, they're still going. Michael Milfelt tags. Caution is out. Holy cow. So Schulte into Chadwick, who gets up into Christopher Howell, I believe that was, in the 88. They're still wrecking from here. Oh, Crowder scrapes the wall there. Oh, we've got problems. I believe Kerry Cleaver has gone around, but I think he did it close to the pits. Oh, now we got problems. Zach Foudy and Don Milkowitz have crashed, and the caution is out. And the 13 of Don Milkowitz. I think the 13 had already gotten into the back of the 0-2 here. And, Go2 definitely has turned down the track at that point. Green flag is back in the air. Lap number 23 is up on the board. I tell you what, being on the outside, though, that really killed the restart there for Michael. Here goes Crowder up to second and now going to the lead. Griffin fighting back here on the outside. And putting up a great fight at that. Crowder still not clear. Maybe going to open his own door there, and does. That should be good enough to get it done. Crowder outright to the front. Patton fighting to the inside here of Justin Michael for the third spot. Oh, Griffin is loose. Oh, boy. Oh, my. That is big problems here. Jason Garrett involved, Josh Scott again, Kerry Cleaver again, Jack Watts again. Oh, man. Kirk leading Michael, Crowder, and Milfeld. Michael spins the tires a bit on the restart there on the outside. Here goes Crowder to the inside of Michael for second. And Crowder now advancing on Kirk for the lead. Crowder might try and clear himself off the 9 here. Really putting the squeeze on. Down through the dog leg. Crowder is clear. Michael now underneath of the 9. Oh boy. Milfeld holding on to 4th behind these two as Michael now clears up on the 9. He is going to win round number 2 and do it in dominant fashion. Ashton Crowder is back to victory lane with maximum velocity at Phoenix. He said he was going to have to work on something special for his burnouts, and how about just a full send into the wall? I hope he hadn't unbuckled yet. Things may have started a little bit backwards here this season after not very many cautions at the Super Speedway at Atlanta Motor Speedway to kick things off, and quite a few cautions at Phoenix last week in the second round of the season. Tonight, we'll see who thinks their season is in trouble early and who is on cruise control. And there's no better place to cruise than down in sunny Miami, Florida, where we are getting ready for 80 laps of racing action around the intermediate Homestead-Miami Speedway for the 3rd round of the revival season of Maximum Velocity Racing. As always, here on Turn 200, it's the Booth Boys back at it again. My name is Tommy Cook. My partner Matt Williamson will be along here in just a few moments, making some final preparations for tonight's racing action here on Turn 200. Let's take a look at the point standings after our opening 2 rounds. And the driver who has finished in 3rd place in both of these races so far, no surprise, is your current points leader. That is driver number 81, Andrew Schulte. Schulte looking to make it 3 podiums in a row on the season. William Kirk not too far behind him. He's had a great start to his season as well. Matt Rodolasso, a podium finisher from Atlanta, did not have the Phoenix that he was looking for. He is looking to recover here tonight. Then a 3-way tie for the 4th position. Greg Ball, Michael Milfeld, Ronnie Norman. Your 2 race winners this season, Kyle Chadwick in the 8th position, and last week's winner, Ashton Crowder, all the way down in 25th. That is because he did not compete in Atlanta, so only 1 race start to his credit. But the man who finished runner-up to Crowder last week at Phoenix, Justin Michael, the biggest mover through the field, 18 points position gained. He is all the way up to 9th, heading into the 3rd round of the season. What lies in store for the drivers of Maximum Velocity? We are getting ready to find out ahead of 120 miles for the 3rd round of competition for Maximum Velocity in 2023. It's Around the Turn on Turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Broken I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
presentation. Alrighty, little day-to-night shock there. Why not? Here at Homestead-Miami Speedway broadcast boys, Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson, back for round number 3 for Maximum Velocity. Welcome to Homestead-Miami, Matt. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. I think this is going to be a fun race. A little disappointed I missed last week at Phoenix, but excited to be back in the booth with you here for round number 3. And yeah, I think we're going to get some really good action here. We saw great action at Las Vegas in the recruitment race, and I'm expecting some of the same here tonight.
Alrighty, well, we got a few minutes here before we get to 3-lap qualifying. Let's go ahead and talk to a couple of the drivers before tonight's race. We'll start off with the driver who is top 10 in the points coming into tonight, driver number 15, Craig Hawkins. Welcome up to the booth. What's the game plan here tonight at Homestead? Uh-oh. I think maybe making some last-minute preparations. We'll go ahead and stick him back down in the waiting room. You know, when you're doing guerrilla-style interviews here, that'll happen from time to time. Let's go look for our friend... Rod Mitten. And I have found him. We'll go ahead and pull him up into the booth. Rod Mitten hanging out with us here tonight. Welcome to Booth 200, partner. How are we feeling about a race here tonight in Homestead-Miami?
Hey, how's it going, boys? Well, it's a pretty strong field tonight. Struggling to find a little bit of practice speed, but we're hoping once the race starts we can get into a long-run rhythm and just outrace them.
Strategy-wise, are you going to try and be the odd one out and try and mixing things up, or are you going to try and go status quo and pick off some people who make some mistakes?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one and leave you guys guessing.
Come on, that's all right. That gives us something to look forward to. Anybody you want to shout out while you got you up here in the booth? We just did a couple of races for your Cup Series, and I don't think we ever got to talk to you on air, so... anybody you want to shout out or say hi to here tonight?
Yeah, unfortunately I had to miss the first week, but really liked having you guys cover our 2 weeks there over at Race Colt on Monday nights. So just appreciate you guys, and shout out to our sponsor over there with Simrat Market and Cameron Colby. Alrighty,
best of luck to you here. What room am I taking you back to there? I missed it.
I think it's Highline. Yep, Highline down there.
Alrighty. Good luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Yep, be talking to you.
Alrighty. Who else should we try and pull up here? Andrew Schulte, the points leader, is on mute, so I'm not going to violate that here. Let's see. I guess we could pull in the driver who is fastest in practice right now. He's been in the broadcast booth a couple of times here. We'll go ahead and pull James Lehman back up. Fastest in practice right now, real quick. What's the goal for the race tonight?
The goal for the race tonight is honestly just finish and get good points, hopefully. You know, that's the plan here.
I mean, you had a good rally after the late crossing of wires there with the 6 of Ronnie Norman at Phoenix. But, I mean, the pace seems like it's here tonight. So, anybody you want to shout out here before the race?
Just shout out to everybody showing up tonight, and shout out to you guys. Put on a great show, and I'm not going to lie. Probably gonna have to remake the server in about 2 minutes because I made a mistake. So.
Oh no! Well, good luck on that. I guess. Alrighty, thank you.
I will give you guys an update if I have to or not.
Okay. There you go. So that's that happens every now and then.
We just had to do it a few weeks ago for Venom.
Yes, we did. So practice is over. And I've got the radio on, so I'll be able to hear if James Lehman is going to remake this session or not. And then we'll have to replay our intro if that is the case. But in the meantime, qualifying has opened up, and we should have trucks hitting the track here. Matt Williamson, who are we following?
Well, right now, only truck. Oh, there's a couple out here. Will Kirk is on the track right now. Just making his way out of pit road area by the blue line. He's going to go on his out lap here and see if he can put together a good one. Kyle Chadwick's out on the track right now, as well as Thomas Lee. Milfelt is out here. Brad Slagle. Most of these trucks still kind of making their way off of pit road. William Kirk has started his lap here.
Well, the word from race control here is that we are going to have to remake the session and get everything switched back over. So, yeah, I guess we will watch some of the trucks here and talk a little bit before they get this session back open, because we do still have some trucks out on track here. Opening 2 races for Maximum Velocity Racing League. Round number 1 was at the 2022 Atlanta. It was won by Kyle Chadwick. Round number 2 was won by Ashton Crowder last week at the new configuration of Phoenix. And Ashton Crowder not in the field here tonight. He's on a part-time basis for the season. As I think we have advanced. Yes, they have advanced the session. So, in theory, starting grid is about to happen. But I guess that's the sign that we're going to have to get switched over here. So, we'll replay the intro here one more time. Hang with us here as we got some server difficulties to work through here. But rest assured, some racing action is around the corner here on turn 200. We are underway. And already Justin Michael lunging to the inside here, looking for the race lead. Crowder back to the inside as the field battles away behind them. Scott Patton trying to hold off. Oh, in trouble there. I think Rob Haynes got out of shape. So did Michael Milfelt. Quite a few drivers all out of sorts here. And look, they're still going. Michael Milfelt tags. Caution is out. Holy cow. So Schulte into Chadwick, who gets up into Christopher Howell, I believe that was, in the 88. They're still wrecking from here. Oh, Crowder scrapes the wall there. Oh, we've got problems. I believe Kerry Cleaver has gone around, but I think he did it close to the pits. Oh, now we got problems. Zach Foudy and Don Milkowitz have crashed, and the caution is out. And the 13 of Don Milkowitz. I think the 13 had already gotten into the back of the 0-2 here. And, Go-To definitely has turned down the track at that point. Green flag is back in the air. Lap number 23 is up on the board. I tell you what, being on the outside, though, that really killed the restart there for Michael. Here goes Crowder up to second and now going to the lead. Griffin fighting back here on the outside. And putting up a great fight at that. Crowder still not clear, maybe going to open his own door there, and does. That should be good enough to get it done. Crowder outright to the front. Batten fighting to the inside here of Justin Michael for the third spot. Oh, Griffin is loose! Oh boy! Oh my. That is big problems here. Jason Garrett involved, Josh Scott again, Kerry Cleaver again, Jack Watts again. Oh, man. Kirk leading Michael, Crowder, and Milfeld. Michael spins the tires a bit on the restart there on the outside. Here goes Crowder to the inside of Michael for second. Crowder now advancing on Kirk for the lead. Crowder might try and clear himself off the 9 here. Really putting the squeeze on. Now down through the dog leg. Crowder is clear. Michael now underneath of the 9. Boy. Milfeld holding on to fourth behind these two as Michael now clears up on the 9. He is going to win round number 2 and do it in dominant fashion. Ashton Crowder is back to victory lane with maximum velocity at Phoenix. He said he was going to have to work on something special for his burnouts, and how about just a full send into the wall? I hope he hadn't unbuckled yet. Things may have started a little bit backwards here this season after not very many cautions at the Super Speedway at Atlanta Motor Speedway to kick things off, and quite a few cautions at Phoenix last week in the second round of the season. Tonight, we'll see who thinks their season is in trouble early and who is on cruise control. And there's no better place to cruise than down in sunny Miami, Florida, where we are getting ready for 80 laps of racing action around the intermediate Homestead-Miami Speedway for the third round of the revival season of Maximum Velocity Racing. As always, here on Turn 200, it's the Booth Boys back at it again. My name is Tommy Cook. My partner Matt Williamson will be along here in just a few moments, making some final preparations for tonight's racing action here on Turn 200. Let's take a look at the point standings after our opening 2 rounds. And the driver who has finished in third place in both of these races so far, no surprise, is your current points leader. That is driver number 81, Andrew Schulte. Schulte looking to make it 3 podiums in a row on the season. William Kirk not too far behind him. He's had a great start to his season as well. Matt Rodolasso, a podium finisher from Atlanta, did not have the Phoenix that he was looking for. He is looking to recover here tonight. Then a 3-way tie for the 4th position. Greg Mall, Michael Milfeld, Ronnie Norman. Your 2 race winners this season, Kyle Chadwick in the 8th position, and last week's winner, Ashton Crowder, all the way down in 25th. That is because he did not compete in Atlanta, so only 1 race start to his credit. But the man who finished runner-up to Crowder last week at Phoenix, Justin Michael. The biggest mover through the field, 18 points position gained. He is all the way up to ninth, heading into the third round of the season. What lies in store for the drivers of Maximum Velocity? We are getting ready to find out ahead of 120 miles for the third round of competition for Maximum Velocity in 2023. It's around the turn on turn 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by competitors, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. An intro's so good, we're gonna watch it. Why not? Watch it a second time. It's that good.
Third time?
Let's hope not. Not that good. 2 times is enough. But we are ready to go-ish. About 3.5 minutes left in this new practice session. While we got a couple of minutes, let's remind the folks here we are in round number 3 of 20. What the rest of our season is looking like here.
Well, certainly. I know that we have some bangers on this schedule that I'm really looking forward to. One of them, definitely Chicagoland here in a couple weeks. It's a track that we don't get to see in real life anymore. So anytime we get to see it on the sim, I am very excited for it. So get to see that one here in a couple weeks. Also very excited. We are going to the dirt at Knoxville. No, not Knoxville, Tennessee. We're talking Knoxville, Iowa. Little deep cut there. Really excited for that one. And then, of course, a bit of a home race for me in Nashville Super Speedway. Obviously, Talladega is going to be fantastic, as always. So a lot to look forward to here this season.
I am very partial to Watkins Glen, which is where we're going to be next week. Very excited for that. Auto Club is one of the best tracks in the server, or in the sim, or in the service. Holy cow. Iowa's really good. Mid-Ohio will be interesting. Interesting, yes. We got a lot of folks from the Northeast here, so New Hampshire is going to be a big deal to a lot of people here this season. North Wilkesboro is always a banger. Dover is one that's slept on, in my opinion, a driver's track. A lot of fun. And end of the season at Las Vegas. We've already seen what these drivers can do at Las Vegas. So it should be exciting to see once we come back to Las Vegas to close out the season. Going to be a good time. Going to be really exciting.
It most certainly will be. I mean, we have such a talented field, and it's a deep field. I mean, I think we have like 35, 36, maybe 37 trucks here tonight, just stacked from the top to the bottom. All of those races on that schedule are going to be good races. You're not going to want to miss any of them.
Yeah, we had 36 in the last session. 35 of them have come back here, so that's good. Yeah, so got a couple of minutes here. I want to send some reminders to the good folks here in Turn 200 land. First of all, thank you for coming out and hanging out with us here tonight. Jacob Nagy has already stopped by. And for anybody that has stuck with us here through the technical problems, appreciate your patience. The server is all corrected now, and we are ready to go racing here in about a minute's time, or we're going to actually go qualifying, which I guess is sort of racing. But anyway, of some upcoming races here, I hope you like Chicagoland and Homestead, because you're going to be seeing a lot of them here in the next week or so. Chicagoland on Monday for Truck 200 recruitment for Season 2. And then on Tuesday, it is Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Venom Truck Series. On Wednesday, it is Chicagoland for the Daredevil Series. And then next Thursday, of course, we break the pattern back here with the Maximum Velocity Racing League as they go to Watkins Glen. So that is the next week of action that we've got lined up for you here on Turn 200. If you want to make sure that you're here for all of it, because all of it is going to be really good, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We have gotten quite a few subscribers in the last couple of weeks. We've gone to 300 and more. So now I think the next big milestone is going to be 500. And at this rate, I don't think we're going to be too long from getting that. But we appreciate everybody's support here as we have really turned up the wick here in terms of what we have got in store for the fine folks out in Turn 200 land. Got Lance Ackerson cheering on Wally Turheimer as we get ready to make the switch over to qualifying. And we'll see how Wally and the other 35 drivers do here. 3-lap qualifying. Again, it's best lap. It's not average time. But 3-lap qualifying here at Homestead. Who are we keeping our eyes on?
Rod Mitten's out here trying to get an early lap in. A bunch of drivers getting out on track right now. Wally Turheimer's one of them. Slagle, Chadwick, Cody Griffin. So we're going to be watching quite a few here. We're going to see who's going to cross this line first to start their lap. I think it might be Rod Mitten. But we're not quite there yet.
Kerry Cleaver is on the clock now as well.
Take a little view from the driver's seat here as you kind of slide up the racetrack off of turn number 2. And hard off the gas into turn 3. Gonna like that high line here, though. A little bit loose for Mitten. We'll pull up the tower here. Mitten, not a real great time for the first one.
Seth Foudy has the time to beat right now, 33:017. And these sets of turns, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on paper exactly the same, but in my humble opinion, they drive very differently. The top side, the preferred lane all the way around the track, but things tighten up a lot in turns 3 and 4 on that top side.
Yeah, it is very, very easy to get into the wall out of turn number 4. As we have some movement here, Ronnie Norman has jumped up to the top spot for the time being. Cody Griffin here about to finish his lap.
Griffin to second. Chasing Ronnie Norman, 32:915.
Norman still with 1 lap left. He's at the top of the food chain here, I think, with only on his first lap.
Some heavy hitters still yet to post a time here as James Lehman goes to second. He was fastest in the actual practice that we had earlier. I'm not too sure.
Brian Troy out on track, still trying to get that second lap in here, as well as Jason Garrett. Troy looking for a much better lap. He's down in 30th right now. May have had some trouble. He jumps up to 25th. Oh, Garrett has a problem out of turn number 4. So Jason Garrett's, for right now, is placed in 22nd. Here comes Scott Patton.
Kyle Chadwick up to third.
Patton coming out of turn number 4 here. This is his second lap. Currently 9th, or actually 10th. We'll see if he can move forward. Doesn't look like it. 33.03 on his first lap, a 33.12 on the second. And, it does look like we got one more that's going to come out here and take a time. Greg Mall, he is on his out lap right now.
Justin Michael, I think, is coming to put up a time, maybe? He's certainly out on track. But he's down in 14th. That is a little bit lower than we were expecting the 87 to be here.
There goes Greg Mall. He puts in a time, 18th right now. He'll look to do better on it here on the second. Kind of racing against the clock here. He's only got about 30 seconds left, but he will be able to make it. He goes way to the bottom of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. Drifts up the track. Oh, super loose out of turn 4. Not going to be able to get it done. He still goes to 10th, though. Wow. He was really hustling that thing through turns 3 and 4.
Greg Mall tied for 4th, and the points coming into tonight up into 10th. But everybody is going to be chasing the 6 of Ronnie Norman, who had quite a bit of pace last week at Phoenix. Got tangled up there with James Lehman at the end of the race. Didn't quite get the finish he was looking for. But tonight, he and James Lehman will be on the front row for round number 3 of the revival season for Maximum Velocity Racing. So Norman on the inside of the front row, Lehman to his outside. Your Atlanta winner, Kyle Chadwick, will line up in the 3rd position. Cody Griffin will start to his outside in 4th. Row number 3 is Rob Haynes on the inside, and Thomas Lee to his outside. Michael Milfeld Jr., quite a bit of misfortune last week, will start in 7th here tonight. Seth Bowdy will line up in the 8th position. Row number 5 on the inside is Jack Watts. To his outside is Greg Mall to round out your top 10 starters. Scott Patton up in 3rd and crashed last week at Phoenix, so he is looking for a big bounce back here tonight, starting 11th. William Kirk will line up to his outside, 2nd in the points coming into tonight. Charlie Widener then will start in the 13th position with Heath Smith to his outside. Justin Michael, your runner-up finisher last week, will start in 15th here tonight. Brennan Gregg on the outside of row number 8. Rod Mitten, Johnny Hamby on row number 9, and Don Milkowitz and Jordan Pauly, I believe, making his first start this season in the 20th position. Zachary Foudy and Doug Heveron on row number 11. Riley Berkema and J.J. Garrett on row number 12. Wally Turheimer and Drew Strotman on row number 13. Brad Slagle, Kerry Cleaver, Brian Troy, Matt Burkhart, John Pansilla, Nicholas Bradshaw, Robert Matisse, Bill Paradise, and Craig Hawkins, your 35 starters in tonight's field. Matt, some weather conditions here as the sun is going to continue to set, and strategy-wise, what are we looking at here today?
Well, the sun is setting, but it's already cool here on the track temperature, ambient temperature at 78. Track temperature is at 81 and will likely get cooler as the sun continues to go down. So looking really good on the track conditions here for the drivers here tonight as we're going to get this thing started. Fuel window, we're at 70% capacity here in the Maximum Velocity Truck Series. So 30 to 35 laps, probably more in that 35 lap range if I had to guess. 3 extra sets of tires, 0 fast repairs. So you're one and done. If you get damaged, you're just going to have to try to get it fixed. 80 laps here tonight, so at 35 laps, we're thinking for the fuel mileage, I think we're looking at a 2-stopper unless we get some caution and somebody tries to stretch it.
I was trying to remember how Wally Turheimer did last week because I didn't remember calling out his name a whole bunch, and it turns out he didn't race last week. He got a top 5 at Atlanta, took a well-deserved week off, but is back in the field here tonight, and he's got Mom cheering him on in the chat. Martha Turheimer hanging out with us here tonight. Appreciate the support. I'm sure he does as well. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. 80 laps for round number 3 for Maximum Velocity It's at Homestead-Miami Speedway. The top line, we think, is going to be king here tonight. Strategy abundant, hoping for a few less cautions than we had last week at Phoenix. Ronnie Norman and James Lehman side by side after their scuffle last week, and they will punch it and head towards turn number 1. Norman with the early lead here by about 2 truck lengths over James Lehman, who himself has gapped this battle for third. It's Kyle Chadwick there on the inside, Cody Griffin battling hard on the outside. Oh, caution. I think that was...
Oh, and they're still wrecking.
Scott Patton, William Kirk, 0-2 of Zach Foudy. And the caution is out. I saw somebody get incredibly loose, and I think that was who that was. So it wasn't even that they got loose. It was Scott Patton got turned by William Kirk there. So that's one way to define loose, I think.
Well, we're going to take a look. I mean, they are super bunched up here as we are headed into turn number 3, and throughout this turn, we'll go ahead and get to a chase cam here. This is going to be William Kirk that we are right behind here in the number 9 machine. See him all kind of jostling for position here. Couple trucks going low, going high. Looks like Kirk, I think Patton thought Kirk was kind of drift up the racetrack a bit, and he just never does. And Kirk actually gets through that thing clean, unbelievably. Patton definitely gets the worst of it here. He goes nose first into the outside wall, and it is chaos from here. Trying to figure out who is all involved in this one. Looks like the 0-2 of Foudy is. The 69 gets turned. That's Kerry Cleaver.
Yeah, for Foudy and Cleaver, they both have meatball flags, unfortunately, although Zachary Foudy already has cleared.
I think Brennan Gregg might have been involved in this one as well. So quite a few trucks with at least a little bit of damage, if not very, very heavy damage. And it didn't take long.
No.
For that one, we talked about how we thought there would be early cautions at Atlanta in the first race, and lo and behold, we had the whole thing backwards. We had one on lap 1 here at Homestead.
And we made it to lap 2 at Phoenix last week, so early cautions the trend here for everywhere except for the super speedways for some reason. Interesting. We did have several takers, although I think most of them were in the proximity of that accident. Heath Smith, Brennan Gregg, Rod Mitten, Johnny Hamby, Drew Strotman, Zachary Foudy, John Pansilla, and Matt Burkhart. Now, Chris Folsam, when you say the second guy, are you talking about me or are you talking about Matt?
Assuming he's probably talking about me, Mike can get a little quiet. Let's see if I can...
Boost yourself up here, partner. Be loud.
Add a little gain here.
Scream, would ya?
I feel like I used to have some gain on this mic, and I turned it off for some reason. That might be a little bit better. We're gonna keep moving it here.
So Ronnie Norman, James Lehman, and leading the field here, and they're trying to talk to the 25, but I don't see a 25. Oh, Nicholas Bradshaw. He's supposed to be on the outside line, but he's not. Green flag is out. We're going to need some black clears further back in the pack, I think. Good start here by Ronnie Norman. And a good start by Cody Griffin as well. He is on the attack. Up to second.
And they are fanning out pretty good, 2 and 3 wide. down the backstretch here, trying to get some momentum. A lot of them strung along the bottom here. Milfelt, he's in the second lane through turns 3 and 4. He'll be 3 wide behind him. It's Widener, Justin Michael, and I think that's William Kirk as well. They sort themselves out.
Kirk, the meat and the sandwich there for just a second is Justin Michael is trying to work his way rapidly to the front.
Oh, the problems. It's Berkman in the wall. I'm not sure who he got into.
I think that was Don Milkowitz that he made contact with. And that brings out our second caution.
And that entry into 4 is you're trying your best to get the best angle into that corner, and when you have guys 2 or 3 wide, it is tough to navigate.
Well, unfortunately, I do think our old friend Netcode has come into play here. They were certainly close together, but they were not touching. It's Burkham on the outside and Milkowitz on the inside, and for the second week in a row, Milkowitz is going to find his way into the outside wall.
Certainly, yeah, you see it here. Milkowitz, he's on the bottom, Berkman on the top, and yeah, Berkman kind of comes down a little bit, but then they're fine, and Milkowitz trying to have as much real estate as possible there going into this corner, and it looked like there may have been actually some contact, not sure, but nonetheless, Milkowitz is going to go hard into the wall here. Just those 2 trucks involved, though. We've got Flinky Roberts in the chat saying that he wants to see a truck showdown to see who the best Truck Series driver is here on the channel. That could be interesting.
Well, I mean, Venom Truck Series and Truck 200 is almost a perfect circle on that Venn diagram, but not exactly.
I don't know. The Truck 200 champion might have something to say about that.
He's the almost. And originally, Justin Michael, James Lehman, Scott Patton were the almost, but they're here now, too. So, I'm not saying it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. That sort of is what the Turn 200 championship race in December is going to be, though. I'm keeping points behind the scenes for every single race that appears on the channel here in 2023. So, at the end of the year, December, I believe it's 1st and 2nd or 2nd and 3rd. The top 30 drivers and points and a couple of race-in drivers will have a shot at some actual money provided by us at the end of the season. And by us, I mean not Matt Williamson, because I don't want his eyes to pop out of his skull. Just me.
Well, we'll figure out what we need to.
Details to come on that. In the meantime, thanks to Flinky for hanging out with us. Lance Ackerson says, Wally Turheimer needs to go big or go home. And D. Nicole says, good luck, Dad. Watching from 1,000 miles away. Go, Wally.
Wow.
Wally up 8 spots right now from 25th to 17th. Not the qualifying effort I think he was looking for, but he is certainly making up for it right now. Making big moves here early in this race.
Certainly. I mean, this is one. It's tough to navigate the start of these races. With this many drivers, the action is just hot and heavy as ever, especially down here in Homestead. So a lot to think about here, and I love the paint scheme here. I love this Dutch Brothers paint scheme. I didn't know about Dutch Brothers until they brought a couple here to the Nashville area, and pretty darn good coffee, if I do say so myself.
So under this caution period, we had Greg Mull, Riley Berkema, Bill Paradise, Drew Strotman, Matt Burkhart, Craig Hawkins, and Brennan Gregg all hit the pits. Craig Hawkins has actually just re-entered the pits. So on lap 9, we think 30 to 35 laps. Is he good to the end on fuel here for Craig Hawkins? I mean, on one more stop, rather.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could definitely make it on one more stop, probably. And it just depends on if we can stay green here. I think once we kind of get things spread out, we could very, very well have a really, really long green flag run. But everybody kind of has to situate themselves for that to happen, and it just hasn't quite gotten there yet.
Well, maybe third time's the charm here. It'll be the third restart attempt after 2 cautions and a server error earlier as well. It's just been a very start and stop night here, but that doesn't mean that it can't turn around here. Sun is down, lights have yet to go up. This is probably the darkest it's going to look all race as we are coming back to the restart here. Ronnie Norman, great restart, spinning the tires there. Cody Griffin to his outside. And here comes Lehman back underneath of the 16.
Yeah, and they're jockeying for position behind Lehman. That was Rob Haynes and Milfelt trying to get to the bottom.
Foudy, Lee, and Michael were 3 wide there for a second. It gets itself sorted out as Michael around Thomas Lee.
Well, they are 3 wide farther back.
Oh, a couple of trucks out of shape. Everybody hangs on as Cody Griffin got awfully close to the wall there.
Foudy and Chadwick are fighting for the 6th position. The top 5 all single file for now. Justin Michael right behind this battle as well, looking for a way around. Foudy completes the pass. Now Michael looks to get by Chadwick, and he does, so Chadwick loses a couple of spots here.
So Ronnie Norman working the bottom through 1 and 2. Lehman was on the Griffin was on the bottom. And all 3 of them go bottom here in 3 and 4, as behind them there is a big lunge to the inside from Seth Foudy up to Michael Milfelt, trying to get up to the 5th position.
He's going to lose a lot of momentum on the exit, and it's going to allow Justin Michael to sneak in here behind Milfelt. Wow. Michael sent it there into turn number 1. Milfelt did a crossover behind himself. That was an interesting line through turns 1 and 2.
And Milfelt actually over the radio said, "Come on, Seth, come on through." He was going to let him go, and then some complications there with Justin Michael sort of asserting himself into the situation. But again, this 87 is cranking his way up through the field here.
Well, he had a huge run, never lifted. Foudy goes to the bottom. Michael is railing the top through 1 and 2 right now.
And top 3 about separated by a truck length each here. And trying to pull away as they see the 87 working their way closer and closer in their mirrors.
Well, he's getting good runs, but Foudy is doing a great job rolling the bottom here. It's a little bit loose out of turn number 4. Michael will look to the inside.
Most of this field has not sorted itself out yet, especially further back in the back. 2 wide as far as the eye can see.
Here goes Michael to the bottom. If you want to keep an eye on the lead, just so I don't miss anything here, they look to be pretty close down the backstretch. Michael trying to get as much real estate as possible here into 1. Goes for a bit of a slider. He completes it for now.
Up front, James Lehman had a run there on Ronnie Norman. All back into line. He took a stab at it on the inside in 1 and 2.
I think those 3 are going to take stabs on the bottom. Oh,
whoa!
Michael.
Cody Griffin way out of shape. How did he hang on to that? That truck was sideways.
Well, I think
and now he's up in the wall. Oh, he's in the wall big time. Big problems here for the 16. There goes Rob Haynes through up to third. And now you don't have to keep your eyes on the 16. The 16 is coming back into this battle for fourth.
Well, I think we're starting to get to that point in the run because as Griffin was way out of shape out of turn number 4, so was Justin Michael when he was trying to complete that pass. So Foudy was able to get back in front of him. But Griffin does a great job of collecting himself here. It is hard to get good laps going again after an incident or two like that, but he has done just that. He's starting to put some time on Foudy again and catch the 199 of Rob Haynes.
So Haynes in third, Griffin in fourth, Foudy, that is Seth Foudy in fifth, and Justin Michael in sixth. They have all fallen back to the tune of about 1.2 seconds behind Ronnie Norman and James Lehman, who continue to work away on lap number 20.
And they've put a bit of a gap back to 7th. From Justin Michael in 6th to Milfelt in 7th. It's over a second gap now.
Milfelt in 7th, Thomas Lee 8th, William Kirk in 9th, and Kyle Chadwick rounded out your top 10.
Well, let's go kickpot cam here with Justin Michael. He's got a great look at the action in front of him. Foudy goes to the bottom. Griffin's been running the top, but he goes to the bottom here in turns 1 and 2. Not sure if he's just trying something different or trying to block the advance of the 30 machine. Now in front of them, the 199 of Haynes. He does a little diamonding of the corner through turns 3 and 4. Oh, Michael in the wall a bit off of 4. He had to pull that truck off of it. Oh, and things are it's getting really tight. These trucks are tightening up on these drivers.
And Michael really worked his truck and his tires hard to get up through the field to where he is now. Again, he passed 9 trucks to get where he is, all on the top side basically. So either giving this truck a little bit of a breather or his tires have said, no more.
Well, Foudy's now got past Griffin. Griffin going here for a crossover.
They were bumper to bumper.
They'll be even here off of turn number 2. And Foudy on the top side just has such an advantage with the momentum. But here comes Griffin, a good corner.
Loose.
A little bit loose, super loose.
Still dealing with the loose condition there. With a string of early cautions here, we're expecting pit stops, as long as we stay green here, to begin in about 10 to 15 laps.
Oh, farther behind them, they are 3 wide off of 2. That'll sort itself out. Kirk on the bottom of the 51. That's Thomas Lee. Widener behind them, just kind of trying to see what happens here. Woo! Boy, that was close.
Not done yet. Kirk moves the 51 back. Here goes Widener underneath to the 51.
And then behind them, inserting himself into the battle off a couple of mistakes. That's Kyle Chadwick. He has lost a lot of spots from the start of this one.
We got James Lehman going the wrong direction in a hurry here. The 50 to move himself up to second. And now Lehman under threat from Seth Foudy for third straight away. So I'm not sure what happened in the last lap and a half, but this 50 truck is going the wrong way quickly.
I think we're getting to that point. We've seen it from a few different drivers here. If you burnt your stuff up in the beginning of the run, I think it's starting to go away really quick. Some drivers might have an advantage here for another few laps, and then everybody might be on sort of an even playing field again. Foudy, he's been doing a great job rolling the bottom. He loves the bottom here in 3 and 4.
Oh, Lehman gonna get... I
don't know how he wasn't in the wall there.
I mean, that was incredible driving to keep it out of there.
Now here comes
Ford.
Michael on Cody Griffin.
See if they can get themselves sorted out. Oh, Lehman, I think this time is in the wall. I don't think he missed it that time. And Michael Milfeld is pulling up now, not too far behind the 50.
And Griffin dives to the bottom. He passes the 50. And you are right, Lehman is going backwards in a hurry here.
And so much speed in practice earlier. Started this race so well. As we're about to have a battle for second here, I think Foudy is underneath of Rob Haynes for spot number 2. Haynes has the run off the top side. And while all this battling's happened, good to point out that Ronnie Norman not getting away. It's been about 1 to 1.2 seconds this whole time. As, oh boy. It's a crowded market here, and everybody jockeying for the same real estate on the bottom of the track, 3 and 4. Now here goes Foudy underneath once again for second. With ease.
Yeah, definitely able to complete that pretty handily this time. And Foudy, he really dives it down there on the entry of turns 1 and turns 3, and then kind of runs the next lane up through the middle of the corner, and then obviously exits up high.
And Foudy has had speed here this season, but not the finishes to go with it. In fact, his 2 starts this season have both resulted in 24th place finishes. He was in that big wahooer there at the end at Atlanta, and then just some general misfortune last week at Phoenix took him out of it.
And you mentioned the gap up to first was at a second when Haynes and Foudy were fighting for position. It's down under half a second now, but not really advancing much further for the last lap or two.
Foudy doing everything he can here to try and get a pass for the lead done before we get pit stops underway. And I do believe, I could be wrong here, we're not too far away from finding out, but I don't believe you have to use the entrance lane there all the way around turns 3 and 4. I think you can just exit off of turn 4 and enter pit road that way. The access road, that's the name of it. Thank you, Brain. You don't have to use the access road in turns 3 and 4.
I also want to mention Michael Milfeld. He's up quite a few spots here as well, or at least a couple. He's gotten by Griffin, who is still really struggling with the looseness of that truck. He's gotten past James Lehman, who has continued to still go backwards. He's got Widener trying to get by him right now.
We had Kerry Cleaver come in the pits last time by. I think Brian Troy is pitting in this time. Let's see if anybody else is going to come in here on lap number 32. Well, it would be 32 for them. Johnny Hamby is in. As here we go for the lead. Foudy, clear on Norman. New leader, truck number 30. Problems for Heath Smith. He has picked up a meatball flag.
Wow, you know what's really interesting? We thought the top line would be dominant, and it has been for the most part. Most people are running the top, but Foudy has been running the bottom predominantly most of this race, and he's now the leader. So you see Norman goes to the bottom. He's trying to learn something here from Foudy, I think.
So it sounds like further back in the pack, Thomas Lee and Heath Smith got together. Smith is going to come away with a meatball flag for it. So still only 3 drivers have come to get their service here, but now here comes Ronnie Norman from second. This ought to drag some folks onto pit road.
Going to drag some folks onto pit road and solidify that 2-stop strategy most likely.
Nobody has come in this time, but who will come around next time? Wally Terheimer is on pit road now.
Big skirmish here farther back. That's between Kirk, Watts, and Chadwick.
Race leader Seth Foudy has bypassed pit road, as have most of the top 5, actually all the top 5. Pretty much everybody here.
And I take that back. That third truck was Greg Mall in the 7, who qualified 10th, still in the 10th position. Oh, and some contact there between Mall and Watts.
Oh, boy.
Watts was up into the wall for just a second. They're still battling side by side here.
John Pansilla is going to try and get to pit road here. J.J. Garrett will also hit the pits this time.
And Mall boxes Watts in behind Lehman. Lehman still going backwards. And the 6 of Norman, who's been in the pits already, he is pulling up on this battle. He's going to have nowhere to go on new tires.
Rob Haynes, Michael Milfeld getting ready to hit pit road from 2nd and 4th, respectively. James Lehman coming in as well.
Wow, Norman just makes a power move on the outside. Oh, here comes some more.
Widener.
Lehman, Lehman slides it way in there.
Jack Watts, Thomas Lee, Robert Matisse. No black flags.
Lehman almost hit the water barrels on the end of pit road.
Cody Griffin is coming in this time. William Kirk is as well.
I mean, you have to think about here, if you can stretch this thing to lap 40 and you get a couple cautions early on here and you can stretch it, then you'd never have to come back in again.
Yep. I think race leader Seth Foudy. No, he's just moving out of the way for some slower traffic. Seth Foudy is coming in this time.
Well, Griffin and Kirk are in right now.
Justin Michael coming this time as well. Jordan Pauly is pitting as well. Drew Strotman, Riley Berkma.
All right, this seems it's about as far as we can get it. We had quite a few caution laps here, and we could only stretch it to 40. So I think we were right on the number with lap 35.
First black flag of the pit cycle goes to Riley Berkma. Oh, I just heard somebody hit the wall. I think Zachary Foudy. Not Seth, but Zachary.
Well, Berkma also, he has a black flag, but also slid it into his pit box. He went head first into the inside wall of his pit box.
Yes, Zachary Foudy locked him up, trying to slow down, and made some pretty hard contact there with the inside pit wall. Brad Slagle, Bill Paradise, some of the last holdouts here to hit pit road. I believe Greg Mall is really the only one that has not come down pit road just yet.
Him and I
Rod
don't think
Midden?
Hawkins has either, but they came into pit on lap 7 and then 9. Here comes Hawkins. I'm assuming Mall will come fairly soon. But
not just yet. So Ronnie Norman, by beating Seth Foudy to the pits by about 2 or 3 laps, has cleared him by 4 seconds. But Foudy rather will have fresher tires.
Well, Foudy also has Rob Haynes in between the middle of them as well now.
Yes, good point.
Now, what'll be interesting here is Greg Mall will be able to stretch this out where this will be his last stop, potentially. If he can stretch it a couple more laps, he will likely be able to make it on fuel.
Big plays here potentially for Greg Mall. We always look for our strategists straight out of the gate whenever we get a new league here on the channel.
Well, you know we love them. They're the fun ones to watch sometimes.
Absolutely. So, Greg Mall, Craig Hawkins, have yet to come to pit road here under green.
Here's a
Ronnie Norman. Yep.
Battle for position here, Griffin and Widener. After the pit cycle with Maul and Hawkins, I believe this will be for 5th. And Lehman is right behind them as well, so if they battle for long, Lehman's going to insert himself in here as well. Griffin on the bottom, Widener in the 95, and Lehman way up top here. 3 distinctly different lines here between those 3. Griffin completes the pass.
Greg Mull coming to the pits.
So I think he's made his number.
It is awfully close.
It is very close, but I think he has made the number, if he so chooses.
And in behind him, Brendan Gregg.
D. Nicole still in the chat, cheering on Wally. He's cycled back to 20th place, so he's gained quite a few positions here from the start of the race.
He'll actually move up to 18th once all is said and done, which is about where he restarted last time. So hold and serve. He just had a quip over the radio as well. Said, "I'll tell you what, the walls on the inside are also blue." So interesting. You try and avoid looking at the inside walls as much as possible. At least that's always my goal whenever I strap in.
Yeah, you don't really want to hit those head first and be looking at them at all. Hawkins has come down pit road finally. So Hawkins is going to be good on fuel, definitely, I think.
That gives the lead back to Ronnie Norman as
for long.
Rob Haynes is right there to take it back away. Or he's going to go down swinging at least. He's going to be clear. Norman will have a run, but maybe not enough to get back at him.
Norman,
Or
yeah,
maybe
he has a
he
big
will.
run. He moves to the bottom.
Maybe looking for a slider of his own here. Then again, maybe not. Lap traffic ahead. It's Riley Berkema. And now Haynes moving down to cover off Norman. Feed him a little bit of dirty air. 6 washes up the track. So Rob Haynes in control in truck number 199.
Still battling here, Griffin, Widener, and Lehman. I thought Lehman had a big run on Widener kind of when we left him to watch the pass for the lead, but Lehman has not gotten around the 95 yet. These 3 all together here for position. Griffin's in 5th, Widener 6th, and Lehman 7th.
I'd mentioned Seth Foudy was 4 seconds behind Ronnie Norman when they came out of the pits. Now only 2.5 seconds behind Rob Haynes. So he's made up some time, but not enough.
A big group of trucks is all together here in the back half of the top 10. Hamby, Chadwick, William Kirk, Rod Mitten, Justin Michael, all here together. I feel like Michael must have had a big problem. He was right here with the 92. While I was looking at my timing and scoring, I must have missed something here. Mitten is going to go to the bottom. Try to complete a pass on Kirk. Kirk will have the momentum on the top side here. But Mitten is clear for now.
And I've kind of been racking my brain to figure out who we lost from the first session to this session. It's Andrew Schulte, I do believe. I don't think the 81 made the transition. He was the points leader coming into tonight.
Oh, that's interesting. I know that he was in mute on the Discord.
Yes. And he was in the first session.
Wondering if he didn't realize. I know that the start times kind of changed. Maybe didn't realize that we were moving to a new session because he was AFK.
Well, whatever the case, it's unfortunate. He's obviously going to lose the points lead. And I'm not 100% sure what the drop week policy is, but Andrew Schulte, 2 consecutive third-place finishes to open the season. That streak is over. As Johnny Hamby and is actually working underneath of William Kirk there.
Well, Kirk is passing Hamby here.
Yes.
Hamby in the 70. That's a great-looking truck, too. That Gibson Guitars truck, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Rob Ains has opened up a 2.5 advantage on Ronnie Norman. Seth Foundy starting to fade away a little bit from both of the top 2 trucks here. Michael Milfelt, Cody Griffin, your top 5. Charlie Widener in 6th. James Lehman in 7th. Jack Watts in 8th. Kyle Chadwick and Rod Mitten, your top 10. As lap number 54 is up.
And keeping tabs on a couple of the drivers that decided to have a bit of a different strategy here. Greg Mall, he is up to 16th now. He's working on Matisse, gets around. So I'm curious to see how that one plays out. Only 15 seconds behind Rob Haynes, which is quite the distance. But if this thing goes green for the rest of the time, he doesn't have to come into pit again. It could be a very good play here for Greg Mall.
John Pansilla into the pits from the 18th position. Interesting. He was on the lead lap, and I don't think he had made any contact with the wall or anybody else. Ronnie Norman is in the pits from 2nd. So some strategy swings here.
But Norman trying to short pit the rest of the leaders here, get out in front of Haynes after the green flag cycle. Pretty much everybody will have to come down to pit one more time. Wow, what the heck happened back here with Maul? He's in the middle of 3 wide.
Oh boy, that is a tight formation there.
And the 15 of Hawkins, he's a lap down.
Loose! They are all sorts of nearly wrecking behind Greg Mall.
Strotman was really loose, nearly up into the wall. Hamby had to make an evasive maneuver. Thomas Lee is in this one as well.
Wally Terheimer coming to pit road from 20th. Scott Patton, J.J. Garrett in as well.
And Maul is now working on Justin Michael, trying to work his way through the field here, doing a whale of a job. Of course, he's on some fresher tires. I'm going to try to look to see what laps he came in on. He has about 6 lap fresher tires than most of the drivers around him right now. And he is right here where they are working good for him. Michael and Chadwick prefer position. The 25 is a lap truck. And the next one for position in front will be the 9 of Kirk. Here comes Seth Foudy down pit road.
Foudy from 2nd was running 3rd after they'd all cycled out. Brian Troy, Kerry Cleaver also on pit road. Robert Matisse. Michael Milfeld now in 2nd will be pitting this time. And Charlie Widener will follow him in. Oh, truck up in the wall just behind Greg Mall. I think it was Drew Strotman.
Now, so Mall's gotten around Kirk. Oh, and here come a bunch of drivers down pit road. Milfelt, Widener, Watts, Mitten, Hamby, all coming in here. So at the moment, Haynes is your leader. Griffin 2nd, Lehman 3rd. And Haynes is coming down pit road. Griffin will take over the lead.
Tense moments here. 20 laps to go. Does Greg Mall have enough fuel? Is anybody going to track him down here? Are we going to stay green? So many factors at play.
Well, I mean, either way, I think this is going to work out for Greg Mall as long as he can get a few more laps in here, because I have to think if we get a late caution, go to overtime, some of these drivers will have 20 laps on their tires. I would think a lot of them would think about pitting, and Greg Mall would be in a position where he would be towards the front of those drivers, I would think.
Nicholas Bradshaw onto the pits, and he has picked up the second black flag of the race. And yes, I think you're right. He'll have the track position. He'll have an extra set of tires. All things could look up pretty well here for Greg Mall at the end of this race, as long as he's able to execute, if we were to have another caution.
Update on the leaders that have come into pit already are looking to cycle to the front. Norman is at the front of those drivers. He's leapfrogged Haynes.
And he is about 23 seconds behind Greg Mall.
Towards the end of this run, that deficit will close quickly, though.
Yes, yes it will. Oh, we got a wreck down the front straightaway. Caution is out. One truck around. I think it's Brian Troy. I'll have to go back and see how it happened. I think it's Drew Strotman, and I think netcode is going to pop up again. They were awfully close, though.
Well, Troy's in the Busch Light truck, and I know different servers can do different things. I'm not so sure there was netcode involved in this one. We'll go ahead and go to the chase cam here. This is coming out of turn number 4 onto the backstretch. Strotman is really slow here on the top. I think he might have some damage. He's at least one lap down, if not a couple.
He's actually on the lead lap in 5th. I just think he's on older tires here.
Yeah, and Strotman comes down the track just a little bit. I think Brian Troy thought he was going to have a little bit more room there and get right rear the nose right into the outside wall. Really, really heavy damage here for the 44.
Definitely some netcode there. But they might have hit anyway. They were both sort of tracking that way, and that's exactly what netcode is, as we got quite a few people on pit road now. Or had quite a few people on pit road just a minute ago. Griffin, Lehman, Mall, Kirk, Strotman, Michael, Lee, Chadwick, Burkhart, Slagle, Paradise, Pauly, Zachary Foudy, Ronnie Norman back on pit road.
This has worked out so well for Greg Mall. I mean, just unbelievable.
Absolute gangbusters. But it also this time works out for Cody Griffin and James Lehman, as they had still yet to stop, I do believe. Oh boy.
Oh boy is right. We're going to have probably 13 to go when we take the green flag here. And we saw what happened at the beginning of the race. We're bunching them back up, and we're fighting for a win even more than we were on lap 1. So I think we're about to have some fireworks here.
You can't tell me that somebody didn't win this race already into the first turn.
Say it isn't so.
No, couldn't be.
Well, I mean, we've had quite the cast of characters in and out of the front of this field. So it's going to be hard for the chat here to place their bets, I think, and come away as a winner. But go ahead and do so in the chat. Who do we think is walking away with the race win here tonight in round number 3 of this season for Maximum Velocity Racing at Homestead-Miami Speedway? Rob Haynes, in all this mess of trucks here, is the race leader. Cody Griffin will line up beside him. I think Haynes taking the inside here. James Lehman will be on the inside of the second row with Greg Mall to his outside. William Kirk will restart in 5th with Justin Michael to his outside. Thomas Lee, Kyle Chadwick will be on row number 4. Drew Strotman and Matt Burkhart, who we've not mentioned a whole lot here tonight. He's up 20 positions, and he will restart in the 10th spot.
And I was mistaken. We're going to go green with 12 to go. And you see a bunch of trucks here in front of the 199, who is your leader. They are going to get the wave around here with 1 to go.
Michael Milfeld, Charlie Widener, Rod Mitten, Jack Watts, Craig Hawkins, Robert Matisse, Johnny Hamby, Wally Turheimer, Heath Smith, all in that group. And they will all be on the lead lap.
Yeah, and like a bunch of our drivers like Foudy, Milfeld, Widener, Mitten, Watts, they were all there in the top 10. I believe Hawkins may have been as well, and they are going to get cycled way back outside of the top 15 now. Just horrible, horrible luck with that caution coming out.
There's a point in this race where Seth Foudy looked like he had it locked up. He's got a lot of work to do to even salvage a good finish here. Ronnie Norman, the same. Restarted in 14th. The Foudys, both Zachary and Seth, actually restarting on row number 8 here. As Rob Haynes, Cody Griffin, James Lehman, Greg Mall coming to the restart with 12 laps to go. Haynes waits until the green flag drops. Not a great restart through the field, but a pretty good jump here for the 199. Lehman to the inside of Griffin, who is loose there on the top side. He is going to get swallowed up, and it's going to be 3 wide. They're wrecking in the back. Caution is back out.
Oh, and Mall is loose with Griffin as well. Nearly contact there.
Johnny Hamby, I mean, there's 6-7 trucks involved in this crash. That was a fairly decent-sized accident. And under the 4th caution here as the laps continue to tick away.
Not quite exactly sure where this started, but we'll do our best to take a look. Oh, and it looks like
somebody's loose on the apron.
Yeah, it looks like it may have been the 0-2. I think it's Zach Foudy.
I think you're right.
And indeed it was. He's going to try to save this thing and come right up the racetrack. Oh! I believe that was his brother that he tags big time.
I think so too.
Or at least relation of some kind. I guess I'm not totally certain it's brothers. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of trucks involved here. Milfeld gets turned around. Oh, Hamby almost got all the way through it. He's going to get tagged right here at the end.
Widener gets a piece. I mean, they're just all piling in at this point behind. It's a lot going on for sure.
Take one more look from the blimp. Yeah, big time.
Oh, man.
And I misspoke. That was Mitten in the 92, but Hamby did have some damage off of that as well.
The majority of the people that just hit the pits were involved in that accident. Bradshaw, Foudy, Mitten, Watts, Matisse, Hawkins, Hamby, Seth Foudy, Smith, Turheimer, Widener, and Milfeld, all in the pits this last time around under caution. As Rob Haynes looking for the heist of the century. Maybe not. I mean, he's gotten up front and led laps, but a little bit of strategy has put him back up front here.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say a heist at all. I mean, he's been up here leading laps, fighting for the lead pretty much all night. Now, I'll tell you who may have gotten lucky is Lehman, who had fallen back pretty far in that first stint and has finally been able to work his way up through the field. He's going to start on the outside or inside, whichever one Haynes chooses. He will do the opposite.
And in regards to that particular restart there, who got incredibly lucky was Cody Griffin. After getting way loose there into turn number 1. Gathers it up, was in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich, and then the caution came out. Was going to continue to slide back even more before he finally got his bearings. So the damage is limited to him restarting in 4th here. After being on the outside of the front row last time.
Yeah, Griffin and Maul nearly came together multiple times there. Griffin was just bent way out of shape. He really pushed it there through turns 1 and 2, and he was super loose out of turn number 2. Those two barely almost came together a couple of times.
If Rob Haynes' goal on that last restart was to create some chaos by waiting until the green flag came out, which is perfectly legal, and honestly, personally, I don't frown upon that. He succeeded in his goal, long story short there, because it all happened behind him. He was out front comfortably there, at least on that part of the restart.
Well, when he doesn't go, everybody stacks up behind trying to jump the gun, get the best restart possible, and they just kind of stumble all over each other every once in a while. That's exactly what happens.
It'll be a restart with 7 laps to go. We have 25 trucks on the lead lap now that Rykema has gotten the free pass under this caution. I believe we have 31 trucks still running, actually make it 32. Scott Patton is out on track 17 laps down and 32nd. But up front, Rob Haynes on the inside. The 50 of James Lehman, sorry. I just saw Cody Griffin give a little bit of a shot there to the 50 under the caution as they entered turn number 3. Haynes and Lehman on row 1, Michael and Griffin on row 2, Maul and Kirk on row number 3. And 7 laps to settle it. Back to it. Much better restart here through the field. Michael underneath of Lehman. They'll be side by side. They're both trying to advance on the 199 of Haynes. Lehman is boxed in. 199 down to try and chop the nose of the 87. Now up the track, that'll open the door for Michael.
Haynes was really loose. Lehman's trying to give him a push and get clear. He's not going to be able to.
All sorts of jockeying through the field, but now up front for the lead, Justin Michael, clear.
And here comes Greg Molly. Gets a big run off of turn number 2 on the inside here.
Haynes looked to give a shot there to Michael. Lehman down to cover off. Incredible save. Oh, wow, Chadwick! All the way into the paint, but what a save. 3 wide for second. Griffin on the inside, rolls out of it. Haynes up the track as Michael starts to drive away. We're still 3 wide for second. Now Haynes comes out with it. Crashing behind, though. Caution is out.
Oh, big one.
3, 4, 5, 6 trucks. More, they're still piling in. Nobody's got a brake pedal. Caution is back out. I think we're going to overtime. It's going to be close.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to overtime.
What a battle up towards the front, and the caution comes out behind him.
Man, Michael Milfelt, big shot there to the inside.
Well, we'll try to figure out what happens here.
Sounds like it might start with Seth Foudy.
Oh, yeah, I think Foudy, he either thinks that he's clear or he thinks that he's going to have more room given to him from Robert Matisse. That is not the case. He gets turned into the outside wall. And then, trying to get checked up. There goes Milfelt. That's the hard shot you were talking about from him. Big time shots there for a few of the drivers. I think Berkman was involved in that as well.
Nicholas Bradshaw comes flying up onto the scene here and will end up making some pretty significant contact with 69 of Kerry Cleaver. Oh, boy.
All right, partner. Overtime is here.
And we had sort of discounted where Justin Michael was in the middle of that final green flag pit cycle. He was way down in the running order. But a reversal of fortune, and you don't want to give Justin Michael a second chance. He's going to take it every time. That is exactly what he's done up to this point.
Well, he's done it up to this point, but believe me, it's not over.
No. James Lehman, they are teammates, but he is going to make sure that it is not over.
Well, Michael will need to make sure that he gets a great restart here. He's getting a little love tap here from Haynes. Everybody kind of getting bunched up here.
James Lehman just had an poop moment. He wasn't sure whether the green-white checkered was going to activate. It did. Don't worry. So it is our first of 3 overtime attempts coming up. But also something to keep in mind. Is everybody good on fuel with some overtimes looming ahead? Some tight fuel numbers through the field here.
Well, I mean, when we're looking at it here, I think mostly everybody's going to be okay. I know we had a couple that tried to come in a little bit late, but if you remember, we had another caution, and pretty much everybody in the front came in. So I think everybody's good. They came into pit on lap 65. The latest one here in the top is Rob Haynes at 60, but he'll still be fine.
So we can put that to bed, I do believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if we get 2 more attempts, I think he'll be okay on fuel running some caution laps here.
So doubling up for our first of 3 green-white checkered attempts. Justin Michael elects the inside. Rob Haynes will be to his outside. Michael will have his teammate James Lehman to help. Cody Griffin maybe a little bit boxed in here by the 199. Who, again, did not come into pit under the caution right after our green flag pit cycle. So a little bit older rubber here on the 199. Greg Mull, William Kirk. They have been known to get after it this season, especially late in these races. What can they do here? Thomas Lee, Drew Strawman, Kyle Chadwick, Matt Burkhart, your top 10. Oh, man. Are you ready? This is going to be a good one.
I don't know if I'm ready for this. I think in my heart of hearts, I don't think this is the last one, but we'll see. We're coming to green here in just a second.
To the restart zone, Michael in control, and he's not going to wait for the green flag. He will get a good jump here. Some jostling further back in the top 10. Lehman might have a run here on Michael. Maybe not enough to attack into turn number 3, but the 50 is trying to close.
Griffin and Haynes basically door to door. Nearly contact there on the backstretch. Very tight here.
Griffin a half lane up, trying to force Haynes wide. Griffin is loose. Lehman into the wall. Caution behind. Wrecking again. 3, 4 trucks. And overtime number 2 is on the way.
We were nearly there.
So close. I think Jack Watts, Michael Milfelt are continuing their very good, no bad day. No good, very bad day?
Something like that.
It's close. Maybe not Milfelt. I think maybe they just made contact. The Wrecking is behind them.
Well, I see where there might be an issue here. We are 4 wide coming into turn number 3.
Is that all?
Yeah, I mean, no big deal, right? So Hawkins is in the 15 here on the outside. You got Polly in the 00. Matisse is a part of this as well. Still trying to figure out where this thing starts.
I think the double
It's
zero.
going to start with the 00. Yep.
Yep.
Polly and Hawkins get together here. Polly kind of drifts up the racetrack and tries to slot in front of the 15, but was not clear. So those two will go for a bit of a ride. Well, Cleaver barely missed that. They're trying to get checked up behind him. And Seth Foudy, he gets turned. Berkema is in this as well. And I believe that's John Pansula that got into them while everybody's trying to get slowed down. So about 5, maybe 6 trucks involved in this one. And we will do it again. My instincts did not fail me there.
Almost, but they did. And I think the candidate for the horrible, no good, very bad day, that's it. Goes to Riley Berkema for sure. He's been in a lot of these. Has had a speeding penalty as well. Not been a good night here for driver number 42, unfortunately. All right. Heart rate is back down, at least in booth 200. Maybe not out on the battlefield of Homestead-Miami Speedway. But we'll line them up and try it again here in just another couple of laps. Man, oh man. And Lehman, he was awfully close to the wall there on turn 4 exit, but he was closing in on Justin Michael.
He certainly was. I mean, you can produce really big runs. If you have somebody in front of you working the bottom and you're working the middle or the top and coming down off the corner, you can gain massive, massive momentum runs here and really make up a lot of ground on the straightaways.
Behind them, Cody Griffin was working a half lane up from the bottom underneath of Rob Haynes. When he slid up in front of the 199, the back end of that truck came around. So another well-timed caution for Cody Griffin to not potentially lose a spot or two as he has had a loose truck all night.
Yeah, he's been fighting that thing like a dog. That the back end of it has been trying to step out on him all night long. He's done a really great job of corralling it and showing it who's boss. But you gotta go one more restart here, maybe 2 if you're unlucky. But he's gonna be lining up here in a pretty decent spot.
Tell you what, I'm actually kind of jealous of Cody Griffin. I would love to have a loose truck whenever I race here at Homestead, but it never happens. I can never break this truck loose here. I usually just break the truck. These drivers are all hoping to not break their trucks here on our second green, white, and checkered attempt. Justin Michael, James Lehman, it was heating up there, coming to the line to take the white flag. Maybe this time they'll actually make it to the line. And Lehman is hoping it'll be him out in front when it's all said and done. Cody Griffin, Rob Haynes on row 2, Greg Mall, Thomas Lee on row 3, Kyle Chadwick, William Kirk on row 4, and Rod Mitten and Drew Strotman. Now your top 10. Scheduled distance was 80. It's 86 up on the board, and we're underway again. Not the best restart there for Lehman. Here comes Cody Griffin on the inside. Lehman loose. Griffin to second, and he's on the charge.
Griffin to second. Mall makes a huge move down to the bottom. He's trying to get to third here.
Oh, they're wrecking behind! Haynes is around! And we're going to take it to a third overtime. Rob Haynes tagged. And I didn't see off the front bumper of who. It was the 51 of Thomas Lee.
Yeah, and Haynes already around here. Oh, yeah, as we come in here, the 51 of Lee, he's trying to shoot the gap. Doesn't really expect Haynes to come down to the bottom of the track. He thinks Haynes just going to run this high line, and Haynes tries to kind of diamond this thing, and he comes right across the nose of Lee. He makes a little bit of contact there. I wasn't not quite sure who that was with.
He's going to get piled into here on the back end of this crash.
Oh, yeah, they're trying to, big time, trying to get checked up here. I think the 44 there was Troy. Yeah. And Haynes went from being in a really, really great spot. He put together such a good race. A little bit of a tire deficit here at the end, and boy, he is not going to have the finish that shows how well he drove here tonight.
Yeah, he needed that one to end after the first green, white, checkered. Unfortunately, we're going all three. We're going the full Monty here tonight. And Cody Griffin again. That's the second restart in a row that the driver in second has been on quite the charge. And look at the storm the gates of Castle Michael up front.
Well, he's been really aggressive, but I tell you what else, or who else I should say, has been aggressive. That's the 7 of Greg Mall. They have
absolutely.
They have both been very aggressive here tonight, and Mall was just aggressive, trying to gain as much ground as possible when he was playing a different pit strategy than everybody else, and it was paying off until he had a caution come out. Still worked out for the better. He has an opportunity here.
You know what's interesting is this is probably both in mileage and in time the longest race of the season. But we are only 1 hour and 9 minutes into this race. These are dash style races here in the Maximum Velocity Racing League, and the intensity, as you can tell from tonight, is high. It's very high.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 1 hour and 9 minutes, and if we didn't have overtime finishes, I think we would have been done right at an hour. So
yeah,
I mean, as far as league racing goes, pretty quick here.
Cody Griffin over the radio asked Justin Michael if he's going to take the outside, and Justin Michael laughed. So I think the 87 is going to be on the inside for this restart. Just a guess. And a warning from race control to maintain your lane until you cross the start-finish line. Not directed at anybody in particular, but a note that everybody should hear here for what will be, undoubtedly, with certainty, the final restart of this race. Doesn't matter if you haven't done it up to this point. If you do it one time, it's not going to go well in the post-race report.
Oh,
Man.
we got Brad Saxton in the chat.
Holy cow. What a great chatter. Brad Saxton. What's up, partner?
Long time no talk. He showed up for the end of what should be a pretty good one here if we can take the white flag.
I'm not sure if this is point of no return. We will have to cross that bridge when we get to it. Justin Michael just wants to cross the line in the lead. Needs to do it at least one more time.
Good start from Michael. Pretty good start from Griffin as well. He's going to squeeze in on the bottom.
Was not expecting that. But Griffin right in step with Michael. A little bit loose. Maul and Lehman nose to tail behind him. Maul with a peek to the inside. Here goes Lehman. Side by side for third. Griffin trying to reel in Justin Michael. Michael opens it up out of turn 4. White flag is flying.
Does anybody have anything for Michael? Still fighting for third. Lehman and Maul.
Lehman, not quite clear, but has the positioning. They'll be 3 wide behind them. Justin Michael in control through 3 and 4. Cody Griffin not closing the gap. Out of turn 4, Justin Michael back to victory lane. Not too sure. Kyle Chadwick did not run out of gas down the back straightaway. He was moving up to 4th and dropped like a rock.
Well, if he did, that's pretty concerning because he came in the pit the same lap that all of our leaders did pretty much.
Wow. All the twists and turns, and it's here on an oval. 3 races, 3 winners. Justin Michael, runner-up last week at Phoenix, does one better here tonight at Homestead. And will burn that TRD powerhouse to the ground. Oh my gosh, he is. Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose, from Rob Haynes. Absolutely cleans him out. And I guess that's celebration over. Let's go ahead and get the full finishing rundown. We will be talking to our podium finishers here momentarily. Justin Michael, Cody Griffin, Greg Maul. James Lehman then will finish in 4th. William Kirk in 5th. Rod Mitten up to 6th there. Drew Strotman to 7th. Matt Burkhardt in 8th. Charlie Widener in 9th. And Brad Slagle will round out your top 10 finishers here tonight. It's Robert Batiste in 11th. Heath Smith. Good comeback for him after picking up the meatball midway through the race. He'll finish in 12th. Wally Turnheimer in 13th. Jordan Pauly in 14th in his debut here tonight. John Pansilla in 15th. Seth Foudy back to 16th. Greg Hawkins in 17th. Bill Paradise in 18th. Thomas Lee and Michael Milfeld Jr. round out your top 20. Ronnie Norman, early leader in this race, will finish back at 21st. Kyle Chadwick in 22nd. Jack Watts 23rd. Zachary Foudy, the last truck on the lead lap, at 24th. Kerry Cleaver, Rob Haynes, Riley Berkma, Nicholas Bradshaw, Johnny Hamby, and Brennan Gregg all the way through the top 30. Then it's Brian Troy, Scott Patton, J.J. Garrett, Doug Heveron, and Don Milkowitz, the 35th and final finisher here tonight, as it is time for podium interviews. once I get a little situated here. And we'll go ahead and pull up your third place finisher, Greg Mall. Welcome to booth 200. Man, we thought you had the winning strategy there on lock if that caution would not have come out. How was that the feeling inside the 7 truck there?
That was all but a guarantee at that point. So just a little bit unfortunate, coming with whatever it was, 18 or 17 to go. So had to go back to the drawing board after that caution came out and just kind of reassess how things were looking at that point. We had plenty of tires in the pits, obviously, but as far as seeing where all the cars that we were battling before pit stops got started were going to turn out and things like that, and ended up restarting in a decent spot inside the top 5 there, and it was just a matter of just trying to scratch and claw and keep ourselves within the top 5 just to stay in that conversation for the restarts. So overall, not a bad night, but yeah, definitely would have wished that thing went green all the way to the end.
Matt, what do you got for Greg?
Congratulations on the P3. Man, almost had it done there with the strategy. Talk to me about the restarts a little bit. Seemed like you kind of had to be aggressive because everybody else was around you. How were those?
Yeah, those were, especially at the end there. I mean, that was nothing short of crazy and insane. So definitely had to have your reactions on time. I think Cody might have gotten treed on one of the restarts there. So yeah, just had to be on your toes, and if you're within those first 2 rows, you can kind of pay attention to see what the leader's doing and just time it from there. So thankfully we were able to keep on top of those, and yeah, managed to end up in a decent spot at the end.
On the podium here tonight, anybody you want to shout out to?
Of course, got to thank all the folks that are back home watching on Twitch. The Jack of Hearts on Twitch. Appreciate those guys watching and all their support. The guys down at Bandit, with Justin getting the win, that's awesome, and fighting with James there to get a podium spot there at the end. That was definitely fun, and of course, them for putting on a great broadcast and in a league. You guys are doing great. This is going to be fun to watch over again, I'm sure. So definitely looking forward to what the rest of the season has in stock for us.
Greg Mall heating up. Congrats on the big P3 here tonight, and looking to do 2 better next week at Watkins Glen. What do you say?
Sounds good. Let's get after it.
All righty. We'll talk to you then.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
And it is 2 races on the channel this week and 2 podium finishes for Cody Griffin. He will come home in P2 here tonight. Congrats on the P2 run. Man, there's so many things we could talk to you about, but the thing I want to talk about the most is your truck looked like a handful all through this race. How did it get that way, and how did you hang on to it?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, our Right Choice Plumbing Chevy, it was really tight on entry and snapped loose off exit. It was kind of numb through the center. It really didn't, I wouldn't say it was tight or loose through the center. It was just kind of numb, but entry and exit was awful. So definitely didn't have the fastest truck. Just tried to, salvage what we could. We had that long green flag run there with green flag pit stops. And when we cycled through to the leader, I was pretty happy with that. I felt like I at least had a chance to win it. I was going to be about 5 laps short, and we were going to have to pit, but it was just going to be a gas and go. But cautions come out, and I knew after them cautions came out, that initial caution come out after that long green flag run, that it was going to be wild, because that pretty much took all the strategy out of it. And, everybody had, I think, at least 2 set of tires still down on pit road. So it was kind of anybody in the top 5's race at that point. And, we had that, we fired off that first restart after that long run, and I was just skating on ice. Seemed like everybody passed me, and I dropped back to, I think, 4th or 5th. And after that, I didn't really work the tires under that caution, and I think they got really cold. And the caution come out, and I worked the fronts really hard and spun the rears over once before we had those last 2 restarts, and it seemed to be a lot better, but it was still free on exit. So just happy we got second. I mean, second sucks in a way. I mean, it's first loser, but good points night, so we'll take it.
Well, that covered the next couple of questions that I had. Matt, do you have anything our runner-up finisher here tonight?
Congrats on another podium here on the channel this week. Is there anything else that you could have done there to try to get Justin Michael? I mean, you were trying the top, trying the bottom. Anything else that you could have thought of?
Hit him. No, I don't race like that, but yeah, hit him. I've known Justin for years. I've been on the service since 2013 and started racing real life late model in 2019, and hadn't been on here a whole lot since I started running in real life. But I respect Justin. Me and him have raced really hard together through the years, and he's got a lot of respect for me too. But if he would have bobbled one time, I might could have got him. But Justin, he don't slip. If he slips, it's very seldomly. So he ran a great race there, and congrats to him on winning. I'd like to thank Wright's Choice Plumbing for being on the car. Is also on my race car in real life, and we'll go back to battle next Thursday night here, and see if we can get another good points night. I mean, it's all down to points racing at this point, So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks to Max Velocity putting on the league, James Lehman, Justin, everybody that helps put the league on. Thanks to Turn 200 for broadcasting, and looking forward to next week.
All righty, looking forward to getting you back up here in the booth. Congrats on the P2.
Thank y'all.
And with that, we will go ahead and pull up our race winner after finishing second last week. It's one better here tonight for Justin Michael. Welcome back to Booth 200, partner. Congrats on the big win. I will say it didn't always look like it was going to go this way. You had throughout the beginning and middle portion of this race, you really had to work your way up to the front here.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm really bad here. I don't like this track. I don't know why, but I got lucky. I guess I had some short run speed. I didn't really have a long run speed, so that really helped there on those last few restarts. Rob had old tires. I don't know, 5 or 6 laps older than us, so that really helped a lot too. But I know some people weren't keeping their tires warm under yellow, and they were getting bad restarts, so it worked out to our advantage.
And early in this race, I mean, you qualified back at the 15th position, but I mean, you made spots up in bunches, just running that top side right away. The beginning of this race, is the top side the place you want to be, or was that really sketchy trying to rocket around the outside?
It does get sketchy. I did a little testing a couple days ago, and I did the wrong fuel load. So up high was 2-3 tenths faster, but lower the fuel load seems like the bob was better from what I saw tonight. So that's why I was up high a bunch at first, and then as soon as I dropped back down, I was 3 tenths faster than everybody. I don't know whether I was saving tires up there or what, but eventually that went away just because, like I said, I'm terrible here. And then that was that first run, and then we got shuffled back, and I don't know. This race for me was terrible up until like the last 15 laps.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner here?
Well, you say you're terrible here, but you got the job done. Is there what are we looking for the rest of the season? I know you kind of like the road courses. What do you think about Watkins Glen next week?
I like that track a lot. I like all the road courses for the most part, and hopefully we run pretty good there. Just got to stay consistent since we don't do playoffs. So most points wins. I really like that because I usually, I don't get a lot of incidents and just stay in the top 5 the whole season, and that'll pretty much guarantee a championship unless somebody else wins every race.
Well, unfortunately, it was a tough start to the night for you. You got disqualified by race control, but man, fought through a lot of adversity after that to get back to victory lane here tonight. Shout outs for you.
Yeah, we'll chalk that up to an admin trying to have some fun, and didn't work out for him. Just everybody out there watching. I had a couple people in my stream tonight, so definitely we appreciate that. Hit that follow button out there on Floorboard Deep on Twitch. And you guys call great races always. And everybody here ran a pretty good race tonight, even with all the unlimited resets that we unfortunately had. It was still a pretty clean race for the most part. So we always appreciate them.
All righty. We know you can win at Watkins Glen. We've seen you do it here on the channel before. So hopefully get to talk to you again next week. But in the meantime, go party hard. Congrats on the big win here tonight.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
All righty. Well, that's Homestead. You know what they say in the business. That's Homestead. Anything you want to say to wrap up the night here for Max Velocity at Homestead on Turn 200?
Well, you know me. I like to always thank the watchers of Turn 200 out there supporting us and supporting Maximum Velocity Racing League here. I had Brad Saxon in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a while since we've seen him, so good to talk to you here, partner. Had D. Nicole, Flinky Roberts was in the chat a little bit earlier, Lance Ackerson, Chris Fulsend, Martha Turheimer, and Jacob Nagy was in the chat a little bit earlier as well. So, man, what a great race. Crazy restarts, and a lot of strategy that was about to play out there towards the end until we had a caution come out. So there was a lot to look forward to here tonight, and a lot to look forward to next week.
Absolutely. If you like the action here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, good news. You could see it again here next Tuesday night. No, we're not running a rerun of this race. It's the Venom Truck Series for the Calypso Bash at the beach at Homestead-Miami Speedway for some good old-fashioned Venom Truck Series racing. Speaking of some good old-fashioned trucking, Truck 200 is back next Monday night. It is Truck 200 recruitment race from Chicagoland. So it's not going to quite be the full Monty that you would normally see in a Truck 200 race. I think it's only 100 miles, and also throwing a fast repair there. Why not? Treat the folks who are coming out for the first time with a little less shock and awe than they will get if they actually stick around for the full season. And speaking of Chicagoland, also, the Daredevil Series next Wednesday night will be at Chicagoland. Wide, flat-out, open wheel racing at Chicagoland, as all things should be. Cannot wait for the Daredevil Series at Chicago. That is going to be a blast. And then for Maximum Velocity next Thursday night, they are at the road course Watkins Glen. That is going to be awesome. Absolutely love Watkins Glen. Love this group of drivers as well. They know how to get after it. They know how to push hard. And seeing them go right for once on purpose is going to be quite a blast, I think. So if you want to make sure that you're here for one, if not every single race here next week, we hope you are, make sure you hit subscribe and like on this stream on your way out. Every little bit will help us on the road to 500 subs here on Turn 200. That's all we got for you here tonight for everybody with the Maximum Velocity Racing League. For the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, and everybody else here at Turn 200, my name is Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, where Justin Michael stands tall as the third different winner on the season in Maximum Velocity. Have a good night.